Yo, what's good, YouTube? Dark Black Crow here with another video. And this video is going to be about the story of Adam and Eve. So I know you may have heard the story, but I'll say it again. So God created man, which is Adam, and then out of his rib, he formed a female to create a companion for Adam, which is Eve. And pretty much what happened is that God told them not to eat the fruit off the tree of knowledge, knowing what's good and what's evil. And, well, the serpent came along and he persuaded Eve and Adam to eat off the tree. And so he persuaded them so much that Eve actually did, and then she gave some to Adam. And they were completely aware of their nakedness, and they hid from God. And with that being said, God said that girls shall give birth to children through pain. And God and us, all of us, we are made from the dust, and so we shall return to dust. And that's pretty much it. We all got cursed. And it's up to you to break that curse. Like I always say, do positive. I always say it in all my videos, do positive. Do good things. Do good things so that we don't have to return to dust and we can live life forever in heaven. Because my stance on it is the fact that if we do good and we're doing the right stuff, then we'll get accepted by God and we won't have to return to dust. But if we're doing the wrong things and sinning and everything like that, then God's not going to appreciate that, and he's going to send us to hell. And to dust we shall return. And was it evil of the serpent to do that? You could say so, but I feel like it could have been a test from God to see if whether they would actually eat the fruit or not. And they failed, they did. And for that being the reason, or what happened, we are all cursed from that. And it's like I said, we have to break this curse. We can't be going out doing the wrong things. We have to get our mind right. We have to be praising God like he wants us to, treating Sunday like the day of the Lord, or Saturday if you want to call it. And we just got to do the right things, man, because God's giving us a punishment for something someone else did. And I know that you may not understand that. I know that you may say, what the heck, God, I didn't do it. But the thing is, those were the first two creations. And generations, down generations, we can be open to the same thing because we learned from our ancestors. Just like Cain and Abel. When Cain killed Abel, that's a sin. You can't do that. And God didn't appreciate that, And we can't, we have to stick to the right path, because if we do, then God will love us again. And what I've heard from somebody on the streets tell me is the fact that only us blacks come from tribes and only us blacks are chosen, which I think is completely false. Don't think that way. Anybody can be chosen. Well, God doesn't love everybody now, but in my opinion. But yeah, we can be chosen as long as you do the right stuff. Stop getting into bullshit. Stop wasting your life and get on the right track. Because if you do, then God will accept you again. And God will love you forever, for all eternity. And you'll be able to spend the rest of your life with him. The rest of your eternity. But when we're doing the wrong things, like I said, God doesn't like that. God doesn't like us killing and robbing and stealing and doing all these negative things. Oh, shit. God damn. It's raining like a motherfucker. I mean, it's raining like, god dang. But yeah, I just thought I'd make a video in the rain because I like feeling the rain. But yeah, it's up to us to break that curse, that cycle that we went down. Because Adam and Eve sinned, Cain and Abel sinned, and the list goes on and on. I even heard this one story where this dude did something very shady, and you even have Satan out there who's trying to do something shady because he's the one that struck Job in the foot. He wanted to curse Job. And you have all these negative environments, all these negative situations that happen. And, it's just that kind of makes us want to do negative, because we see the perfect example of the first two people ever born. And well, what they do, they messed up. So we're bound to mess up. And it's okay to mess up sometimes, not like the terrible things, but it's okay to mess up and, slip up on praying or something like that, because it's understandable. But when you do the wrong things, like when you go out there and you kill somebody, that's taking another life that could have had a lot going for them. And sure, they could just spend the rest of their life with God, which, in my opinion, I believe that the Egyptians died on purpose because they wanted to live eternally. But and by the way, I'm not necessarily Christian, but I am spiritual. But I do believe in Christian. I do believe in the Christianity part of the religion. I do believe in that. Like, I believe there's a God. I believe that Jesus was real and everything. It's just, I'm more on the Egyptian side of things. Like, there's other gods and goddesses that also that are lesser versions of God, But yeah, getting back to what I was saying, just, you got to break that cycle, man. You have to. You can't sit back and just, I'm not going to say do nothing, but you have to praise God as much as you can, because in times like now, we're going through like a crisis, because we're going to war with Iran and we're doing all this stuff. This is the perfect time to just do your thing and be the right person, because if you don't, then God's not gonna let you into his forever kingdom. And sure, praising the gods, it says in the Bible God didn't like that. But the thing is, in my opinion, I think that the Bible is made for us to beat temptation, There's tempting stories in the Bibles that I believe are not real. And I do believe in the Bible, but I just feel like God tested us throughout the Bible to see if we're going to believe some bullshit or believe the truth or live by his word, But it's just a terrible situation that happened with the first two born. And, that cursed all of us to sin and everything, because now we're open to it, because we know good and evil, That's why you see so much bad stuff out there. But if you do the right things and you're listening to God and you're praying and stuff like that, then all is well, It's just, you don't want to be on the bad side of things, because I wouldn't want you to get tormented in hell. I'm trying to help as much people as I can, That's why I started this YouTube. And yeah, you just want to watch who you're around, watch your environment, watch what you're doing, because anything could be a sin, You just got to make sure that you're doing the right thing. And you can't control everybody, so I'm not saying I'm trying to control everybody through this YouTube, because you can't. But I'm trying to wake up as much people as I can. As long as I do that, then that's all that matters to me, and I promise. I mean that with my whole heart of hearts, that as long as I'm waking up as much people as I can, yeah. But it's good to get views. It's good to get subscribers. I know that. But, more deeply is the fact that one person watched my videos, and that's all I really care about. As long as I wake up anybody that wants to be woken up, that needs to be woken up, I did my part. To me. So yeah, that's the story of Adam and Eve, what happened with that. And yeah, it's just, we can't go down that path like they did, because you see how bad God cursed the both of them for doing that, and the serpent as well. Yeah, so you just want to watch what you're doing, do the right things, and stay around the right people, so you don't get influenced by bad things and everything around it. But that's the end of the video. Just, yeah, keep your head up, man, because times will get better, But that's the end of the video. Dark Black Crow out. Peace, love, and positivity, y'all. Love y'all.